Hello students. So today we are going to start class 8 first chapter of science, and the name of the chapter is crop production and its management. Okay, so let us talk what we are going to study in this chapter. We will be studying about crop, then how it is produced, then various agricultural practices, then how it is produced with the help of various agricultural tools, implements, and then after production how it is stored. Okay, these all things we are going to study in this chapter, but in this video we will be going to cover only the topics like crop, okay, then how it is produced, and types of crop, then some of the agricultural practices like preparation of soil, sowing, and uses of manure and fertilizers. And the rest of the topics we will be covering on second video, that is part 2 video. Okay, so let's start our today's topic, that is crop and its production and its management. So we all know that, okay, we all have seen plants, different varieties of plants we have seen. But what is the basic difference between crop and plant? Now, plant basically we have seen, okay, if the same kind of plants are grown on a large number on at a place, then we can say that they are crop. Means same kind of plant or same variety of plant grown on a large scale at a place is called crop. Now you understood what is crop? Same kind of plant grown at a place on a large scale. The crop can be of wheat, it can be of mustard, it can be of rice. There are so many varieties of crops are found. Now, before growing crop, the farmers have to keep in mind certain practices so that the outcome will be very good. Means if the result will be not good, then what will happen? They will go in loss, and again they will be not thinking of producing crop. And if they will not produce crop, from where we will get crop? Okay, so farmers, what they do before growing crop, they keep everything in mind, that how they have to grow crops, at on which season, at which time they have to grow crops, then after growing crops how they have to take care of it, then how to produce it and how to store it. So these are practices which farmers uses or which farmers keeps in mind before growing any kind of crop. Now first let us talk on the basis of season. Like we know that in our India there are basically climatic condition changes, and depending on that climatic condition, depending on season, there are two types of crops are there. First one is kharif crop and another one is rabi crop. So let us discuss what is kharif crop. So basically kharif crops, these are those crops which are grown during rainy season. The crops which are grown during rainy season, like from June to September, such crops are called kharif crops. The crops grown during rainy season are called kharif crops. An example of kharif crops like rice, paddy, maize, these all are kharif crops. Now, what are rabi crops? Basically, the crops which are grown during winter season, such varieties of crops are called rabi crops. The crops which are grown during winter season are called rabi crops. Now understood? Example of rabi crop: wheat, then mustard. Okay, so these are rabi crops which are grown during winter season. Now, these are the types of crops depending on the season. Now for growing crops, I told you that farmers have to keep certain things in their mind so that the crop or the result of the crop will be very good. So it is called basically the agricultural practices. Okay, means the farmers before growing crops, they uses some agricultural practices so that they will the yield will be very high. So the first agricultural practice is preparation of soil. Now, what is the meaning of preparation of soil? It means that before sowing a seed in soil, we have to prepare the soil. Now, what is the need of preparing soil? It is very important to prepare a soil because basically if we see the soil, it is very tough, very hard, then large crumbs of soils are there, and if we will grow our crop in that, so basically the root will be not able to penetrate in the soil properly. It will not get proper nutrition, also it will not get proper amount of oxygen. So it is very necessary to prepare the soil. Now you understood what is the need of preparing soil. One more thing is there, that we all know about earthworm. They are called farmer's friend. So they also grow in soil only, and if the soil is loose, okay, then only the earthworm can live there, and then only they can prepare the soil. Okay, how they are preparing soil? They are eating that soil, and then the waste which they produce is very useful for the plants. Okay, so in this way it also helps the crop. Now again, how we can prepare the soil? So there are certain implements we can use for preparing soils, there are plow is there, then hoe is there. So here cultivators are there. So plow basically हल जिसे हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं, plow. Okay, it is a long wooden thing is there, and at the end what is attached there? One wood shaft is attached. Okay, other end of that wood is attached to a beam which is kept on the bullocks, okay, whenever it is used in the field. So this is a plow. And if we talk about hoe, then again a wood is present, a small wood handle is there, and at one end a bent plate is attached, maybe wooden or iron, and basically it is used for removing the weeds, unwanted plants from the soil. Okay, so it is also helps in losing the soil. And basically the process of losing the soil, or the process of making soil loose, is known as tilling. Okay, and this tilling is done by using plow, either plow or hoe. One more thing is there by which we can lose our soil, which we can prepare our soil, is cultivator. Basically these cultivators, they are attached with tractors and they have very sharp end, and we all have seen also. Okay, so whenever the truck moves, so with that tractor moves, with that only the cultivator also moves. It is very easy also, way also, and time it is not time consuming. Basically saves the time, and labor also not required for moving that one. So these were some of the tools, implements which are used for preparing the soil, and we also understood why it is necessary to prepare the soil. So let us now talk about the second process, that is sowing. Sowing means basically to put the seeds into soil. Okay, but simply if we want to grow a plant, we can put a seed and we can put into the soil, then water it and then take care of it. But if we want to produce, or if we want to put large amount of seeds in the soil, then so much labor is required, and again so much time is required. So how the sowing process takes place in our field? Basically for sowing, the traditional ways are also there, the ways which were used in earlier times, like funnel shaped thing was there. Okay, so farmer, what they used to do, they used to keep that end of the funnel on the soil where they want to sow the seed, and from above they used to put one seed, and it was basically very time consuming because they have to sow that seeds into that whole large land. Okay, so it was very time consuming. But afterward, after the development, there were so many techniques developed by which we can sow the seeds. Here the basically nowadays seed drills are used. No, now what are seed drills? Again these are attached with the tractors, and on that seed drill small holes are there. Okay, so with that one only, while tilling the soil, only the seeds are sown in the soil, and the seeds which are sown by using seed drill, they go in equal depth. Okay, they are covered easily by the soil, so it is very good process of sowing the seeds. Now if we know that we have to sow the seed so that a new plant can come from there, but if we use a damaged seed, then what will happen? Again the farmer, which the time he's spending, the money he's spending will be at a loss. So what they do, before growing also they use high yield variety seeds. High yield variety seeds means the seeds which are of very good quality and which will give very good yield. Now you understood. Second also sowing, second topic, that is sowing. Now third thing is that after preparing soil, after sowing, what is added in the soil? Now here manure and fertilizers are added. Manure and fertilizers. Okay, these are some the chemicals. One is organic and one is inorganic chemical which is added in the soil, so that our crop, they can get proper nutrition, they can get proper nitrogen from the soil for their proper growth. Now here again, as I told you, manure and fertilizers. So now let us talk about what are manure and what are fertilizers. If we compare manure and fertilizers, then we will see that manure, basically these are organic things, okay, which can be made of dead and decaying leaves, vegetable peels which we are producing at home, then drying leaves, okay, drying wood. So these we can use for preparing manure. And manure is basically biodegradable also, which we are producing, and it is very good also for our soil. On the other hand, if we talk about fertilizers, so these are chemical substances which are generally prepared in industries. Now if we compare manure and fertilizers, basically obviously the fertilizers are good than manure in comparison of adding nutrient into the soil, but if we compare the harmful effect of both, then we will find that fertilizers are harmful to our soil. Manures are good for our soil, but fertilizers are harmful for our soil. Here again, manure, they provide nutrition to the soil, but very less quantity of nutrition they provide to the soil. But fertilizers, they add large quantity of nutrient into the soil. Again, manure, they can be homemade, they can be man-made, means in the simple way we can produce. But fertilizers are not good for our soil, but manures are good for our soil. Again, manure, they can be prepared in field also, and but fertilizers, they are prepared in industry. Example of manure: dried leaves, vegetable peels, they can be used as manure, cow dung also. And fertilizers like nitrogen, potash, potassium, sulfur, these all are example of our fertilizers. Okay, then again, if we talk about addition of humus, then manure, they add humus to our soil, but fertilizers, they do not add any humus to our soil. Basically, humus is the dark brown colored substance present on the top of the soil, which is very necessary for the proper growth of our soil. Now you understood about the comparison of manure and fertilizers. Obviously manure are good, though their power is very less than fertilizers. But again, if we are adding on large quantity fertilizers to our soil, then what happens? The soil becomes infertile. Infertile means again we cannot grow anything on our soil. So large use of fertilizers is very harmful to our soil. Okay. Now we have seen the advantages and also disadvantages of our manure and fertilizers. Now here we have discussed our topics like what is crop, then how the crop is produced, then what all things farmers have to keep in mind before growing any kind of crop on field, then which types of implements they use, then we have seen how they are sowing the seeds, why it is necessary to sow good variety of seeds so to get a good yield. Then at last we have compared the effectiveness of manure and fertilizers. Now, so these things we have covered in this video, and other video rest of the things we will be going to cover. Thank you.